Top of the morning, top of the morning. What it do, what it do, what it do. Today welcome to Mess from the Streets. Topic is a little something different. I don't know how many of you seen the movie The Dark Crystal. And I'm talking about the first Jim Henson movie. They had a series on Netflix. It was really good as well. But I'm going to expound on the first movie. And it had these characters, the Skeksis and the Mystics, also the Gilfling. But this is mainly about the Skeksis and the Mystics. Now, the Dark Crystal, a little summary of it. What happened was that there was a crystal, and a part of the crystal broke off, and they called it a shard, if I correctly recall. And while the shard was broken off of the crystal, what happened was these beings appeared on the plain or in the land or the habitation of the Gilflings. And these beings, the Skeksis, they were of the low vibration, I would say. They were gluttons, they were power hungry, they was treacherous, and they were the mild mannered mystics. These were wise beings, and they had actually taken in the Gilfling and raised them up. But there was a prophecy about the Gilfling, and the Gilfling, I guess you could say, was going to restore the balance to um, that realm or the location where they was at. So long story short, I'm gonna go right into it. I'm not gonna keep you long with this. They had this crystal, and the Gelfling assignment was to find the missing part of the crystal and place it back to make the crystal complete. But in the process, the Skeksis, they were taking Gilflings and using the crystal for dark purposes. They was actually draining the life out of their Gilflings, and that elixir that they was taking from the Gilflings were actually giving them prolonged life in form of like the fountain of youth. It was giving them, you know, uh, stamina in life, to be healthy and strong. But they were taking their Gilflings and you know, sucking their life force out of them. So long story short, one of the things that I thought was really interesting in the movie is that when one of the Skeksis died, the Mystics would die as well. And that's how one of the beginning parts of the movie went. One of the Skeksis, he was the ruler. He was about to transition, and all the other Skeksis, they was really, they was plotting that who was going to be the next ruler. But on the other side, the head Mystic guy, he was about to go and transition as well. And, it was hectic over here in this Skeksis land, but in the land of the Mystics, the head Mystic, he was calm. So what happened was that the king of the Skeksis, I would say, he started to transition in his body, started to crumble up and break off, and he dissolved and turned. It was like a terrible type of transitioning for his physical. But what happened on the other end was the mystic. He just slowly but surely dissolved and evaporate more in a peaceful type of manner. So moving forward, once this Gilfling went on his mission and completed it and went through this, all these trials and things, he put the broken shard back into the dark crystal. And the mystics, they were on their way to where the Skeksis were. And they was also waiting for the three suns to line up. And when the suns lined up, they said it was the fulfillment of the prophecies was about to fulfill. So long story short, once the shard was placed in the crystal and the crystal crystallized, something amazing happened. And that was that the Skeksis and his mystics, they fused and they crystallized. So it was symbolizing the lower self and the higher self. So what was going on is that the lower self had free range and it was doing things that were we would call despicable, or we wouldn't have an appetite for. And it done that because it was separated from the higher self. And we're dealing with space of consciousness in this movie and this illustration here. So once again, once they uh, the shard was put back into the crystal and crystallized and became one again, those two um, the separation became one and crystallized. And when they crystallized, they went into another form that was more fantastic and beautiful than the separate form. The separate when they were separated, neither had a very pleasant form to look upon. But once they crystallized, and I keep saying crystallized because that is what this whole uh, segment is about, in a sense. Not gonna get deep into it, but it's about the crystallization. So we have within us our lower self and our higher self, and sometimes we operate in the energy of this particular self. It's only one true self, but we're gonna say lower and higher to try to get a certain type of comprehension of what's going on. So the lower self deals with anger, bitterness, hateful, what we would identify as negative energy. Then the higher self, kindness, compassion, love, generosity, so forth and so on. So what the movie was telling us that we need to crystallize because we continue to oscillate. We oscillate, we go down to the lower self and we demonstrate in a certain type of way with the anger from the emotions, out the cussing and fussing, doing all types of things. Then we get into our higher self. And if we allow sometimes certain situations and people to bring out these particular demonstrations from us because we may not be happy with their who they present themselves to us to be, or we just feel some type of way. But then there's other people where we like, they bring out the best in us. We energize. But one of our conquests in mastering ourselves is to learn how to be in that highest state of consciousness, regardless if there are situations that trigger us. We got to master ourselves so that these situations don't take us off our square in a sense. Spoke about that before, or get us vibrating in a type of frequency that is not beneficial for others or ourselves. So the crystallization of our consciousness is something that many of us never reach in one particular lifetime. Some people believe that you get time opportunity to come back and do it over and over and over and over and over again until we get it. But this is one of the things that we should be working on as far as self improvement. Self improvement will be saying, you know what, if I used to lie, I'm not lying no more. If I steal, I'm not stealing no more. If I was gossiping, I'm not gonna gossip. It is about becoming self aware. This was this movie, The Dark Crystal, was about to me. It was becoming aware that we do have these uh, opposite or these warring factions within inside of us, when you look at it in a metaphysical or symbolic aspect. But the whole thing is to bring them together, to crystallize them, is actually to tame the lower self or put it in this proper position. It's kind of like, a man riding on a horse. But some, that's the man or the spirit, riding or taming the flesh, which is also the horse or the beast. But a lot of times we have in our lives, the beast is riding the man or the spirit. And that's is inverted and makes things perverted, and it gets you all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, I went over my time frame that I try to keep, the videos in. This is another message from the street, speaking on the movie, The Dark Crystal, the crystallization of our consciousness, raising our levels of consciousness up. Most definitely is better to go into the room and have a light on instead of walking around in darkness and error. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this message in love. I'm going to leave you this message in peace, and have a great day on purpose, with purpose, because it's all purpose. praise him to raise him.